Thank you all so much for joining us. My name is Victoria. I am the head of onboarding and support here at Punchpass. And today we're going through a live demo. So we're going to talk a little bit about Punchpass, and then we're going to just really jump on in and show you what this system looks like. There are so many features in Punchpass. So we're not going to get to everything today, but I'll show you a lot of the kind of ease of functionality and what you'll generally be using Punchpass for. And then if you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat. If there's something in particular you'd really like to see, feel free to write that in, and we'll hopefully be able to take the questions at the end and walk through anything you're looking for. So we're going to go ahead and jump on in here. So if at any point or down the road, if you ever have any questions about, Punchpass, again, right now, throw them in the webinar chat. You can always email us. Our team is support@punchpass.com. You can also head to punchpass.com where you can sign up for a call with us. You can also start a trial and schedule a call. And we can always do one-on-one. So if the group setting isn't what you're looking for and you're looking for a little one-on-one conversation and talk through your specific needs, please, we'd love to schedule a call with you. And then that you can find at punchpass.com/free trial to sign up and start a call with us. Some of you may have already started trials. Some may be using Punchpass, but you're just looking for a little more help, or you're just checking us out to see what we're like. So if you have any questions, again, during the chat or during the webinar, feel free to use the chat. And then there's a lot of ways to get in touch with us. So hopefully you'll reach out. So I want to talk a little bit about why you might be considering Punchpass, or why Punchpass might be a good fit for you. Our different pricing plans are priced with small businesses in mind. We know that a lot of our users and a lot of people who are looking for Punchpass are your kind of small independent businesses and studios, and we keep our prices really try to be really reasonable with that, because we know some of you are looking for just getting started, just cover your bases. Some people are looking for more functionality, and so we give you different options. I'll show you the pricing at the end. It's really easy for you to use. We try to make the system super friendly, and we understand that not everyone is going to be super tech savvy who's using Punchpass. Trying to make that super easy, as well as for your clients. The Punchpass customer side, which I'll definitely be showing you today, it's meant to just direct your customers exactly where you want them to go. So you have a lot of options in terms of making choices and how you want to direct people. But what they get access to is what you decide. So try to make that super clean and easy for them. And ideally, you just take some of the admin off your plate and really lets you focus on your classes. I don't think many people who get into our industry really necessarily want to spend a lot of time with spreadsheets and documents. I think a lot of people want to be working on how they can make their classes better, how they can kind of reach more people. And those are, we'd like to take some of the burden off you when it comes to admin and keeping track of some things, and put that on Punchpass. So some people who might be looking for Punchpass or might benefit from us, we're really in the fitness space. Definitely your yoga studios, your dance studios, gyms, Pilates, Zumba. We're in a lot of those spaces, but anyone teaching classes, like we've had, clients who do woodworking classes, jewelry making, ceramics and pottery, cooking classes, tutoring. We've hit a lot of different spaces. If you're running classes and you need to manage your schedule and payments, Punchpass might be a good fit, because some better ways to manage booking than, say, like handling it on your own, a spreadsheet. Tracking payments can sometimes be, getting lost. I was on a call with someone who's on a trial right now yesterday, and they were just saying, I was, checking in on how they were currently taking payment and keeping track, and they were like using pen and paper. So, definitely some ways to improve depending on your situation. We also have a lot of great online options in terms of managing online classes. So that might be another thing that might improve your experience if you're kind of juggling live classes, online classes. Hopefully Punchpass can help you out. So maybe you're overwhelmed by paper and spreadsheets, or maybe you're dealing with some difficult software. It's a little less user-friendly than you'd like, or you're just paying a lot and you're just not seeing the return on your investment. We really think that Punchpass might be a good fit for you. And especially if you're just getting started. So if you're a new business and you want to get started on the right foot, we definitely think there's a lot of resources at Punchpass that can help you out. So a little bit about us. We like to think we're a friendly alternative. So some of the more corporate software experience or the hardware pen and paper kind of experience. We've got a really human-centric approach. You'll be talking to regular people on our support side all the time. We're really ideally here to help. A lot of, one of the things that we understand is that we're a small business too, and we get it. We know kind of your goals. We know you're looking at your bottom line, and we want to. We experience some of the same things, so we understand what you're looking for. And because we're small, we're able to be a lot more flexible. We've been able to launch new features based on the feedback that we get from our clients. We love feedback. We're always keeping track of it. So if anything comes up and you're looking for something in particular, you can always feel free to reach out. Our priority is on ease of use. We want that to be the first thing we think about as we create new features too. Functionality is great, but it needs to make sense and it needs to be pretty intuitive. So hopefully you'll find that as you use Punchpass. It's feedback we get all the time, that it's pretty easy to use. So hope you'll find that as well. I mentioned our support focus. I mean, it's my team, so I'm always really excited about the feedback we get on our support, because we really care about your experience with us. And a lot of us are in the industry too. I'm a dance instructor, in addition to working at Punchpass, because I love it, and I use Punchpass in my life in a lot of different ways. So I understand a lot of what you're looking at and what you're looking for. We have people on our team who've owned businesses, studios before, and found Punchpass that way. So it's just things that we focus on, and why you might be interested in working with us. So we're looking at your class management today, but we're also looking into the future and what people might need. We've got a lot of new features that are currently in development that I'm super excited about, that'll help with marketing and some other features you might be looking for as you're checking out different plans. So we'll definitely we're keep moving. We're flexible and we're looking forward. So it's just a little bit about us before we jump in and check out the good stuff. Let's look at Punchpass. So I'm going to just jump out of here, and here we are in my demo account. So I didn't want to show you like a basic trial where there's not a lot of information in there. I wanted to show you what it might look like when you're using Punchpass. You have your schedule set up. People are paying and attending classes, and you're using the system, and how that experience looks like. Because when you start setting it up, it's going to be pretty empty, and you get to sort of take our tools and run with them. But just to see how it works in action, wanted to start with some of the most basic functionality, and then again, take any questions if you want to see a little bit more. So from our homepage, you're going to see our the schedule coming up, a little overview on what's upcoming, have reservations ahead, give you an update on online payments and people who are purchasing, a little summary about what's going on in your account. But from the homepage, the things that you're going to be doing on a regular basis are clicking into your classes, taking a look at who's booked. You might be starting an online class, or you might be just in person and say, we're going to take a look at our class. People come in, we're going to go ahead and mark attendance. It's the most important functionality. It's the thing you're doing all the time. So let's go ahead and play. So we're going to go ahead and click mark attendance for this class. You'll notice we always highlight if someone hasn't paid. This is really important functionality. We always, the default is to require payment in order for a customer to book. But things happen. Sometimes people drop in and you have to handle that. If the situation is, someone, an instructor maybe made a reservation for the customer and didn't see that they hadn't paid, we allow things to happen, but we always keep you updated and notify that. So always highlight if someone needs a pass. So we can click on individual people to add them to the class. We'll give you a highlight on how they've paid, a little overview. So if people are running out, you might let them know. You can add a new customer from here. So if you do drop-ins, easy enough. If you have your, your customer list and someone is showing up, you can search for and click from them here. So we can add somebody to the class. And we can also mark everyone as attending. So if everyone shows up, great. Let's add them all to the class. So we get this nice overview of where we are with our customers at this point. So the nice thing is that if someone hasn't paid for whatever reason, we can assign them a pass in the moment. So let's assign a new pass to them. We can scroll through our list. You can type through, whatever they're looking to do. We're going to do one class pass here. Assign it to them. And then we can either take payment in person. So if they pay cash, check, they Venmo you, you can take payment outside of Punchpass and still mark it. So we can see all of that. You can also run the card payment. I love this on mobile. I do this all the time because if someone hasn't paid, I can just scan it with my phone, and we can add their payment information there. Or we can, again, receive the payment in person, perhaps. You can send them an email receipt, but we'll just go ahead and hit save. So now they've paid, they're in the class, life is good. Just to kind of show you what that kind of basic functionality looks like and how we set everything up. So attendance wise, it's all good. The nice thing is if you go through attendance and then later, for instance, no pass assign one, you can still do it afterwards. So you can run that if you need to. But just a general sense of what the sort of instructor experience is, marking attendance, getting a sense for that. Just to see that on that end. From the customer side of things, one of the great things about Punchpass, we'll talk about some other things in a moment, is that when you have an admin view, we give you a customer view as well. So we automatically make you a customer so that you can switch back and forth. So as you make updates on your account, you can go in your customer view and see what it looks like, and you can easily switch back to the admin view. So for your customers, we've got a lot of functionality here in terms of what's available to you. So you'll notice we have a lot of custom text here, our logo. You can add and customize a lot of that. We have the schedule list, which we've designed a particular way for this demo, but a lot of that is adjustable. And notice we are showing number of spots left. Certainly don't have to. And you can also set a threshold at which you show the number of spots left. Here we're highlighting our instructors. We give you the option to search by that. Search by location. I didn't want to get there yet. Search by class type. And you can also do this on the calendar view. So there's a list view, then there's the calendar view. So people can check it out. And then I did want to show you what it looks like if you don't have a pass. So if we're requiring payment ahead of time, customer wants to go and book, they're going to be prompted here to purchase an eligible pass or membership. So they get to see what's available, click in. If we have a discount code, that's great, or they can purchase and book at the same time. So this is all with our Stripe integration for online payments. If I go and click purchase a pass, we're going to get into Stripe checkout. It's a really secure payment option. We love Stripe. It works really nicely with our system. Everything can really be managed in Punchpass, so you don't have to really manage a ton in Stripe. You can do a lot on your own. What's nice is that customers can enter their payment information. You can use Google Pay, Apple Pay for an Apple device. They can save their card information for easier checkout later. But once they run their payment, they go back into your Punchpass account, and they're back in business. I'm just going to go ahead and type in the discount code. So, oh wait, maybe that wasn't let's see if I guess that discount code isn't eligible for this particular class. But the other thing is, not only can you purchase a pass and book a class, you can also go to the purchase a pass page, look through what you have available, you notice we have a lot of different options here. You can offer passes, you can offer memberships, you can order this page. I'll show you that in a moment. So customers can see what's available. And yeah, it's pretty easy to use, and customers seem to like it. It's worked out pretty well so far. So I'm just gonna go head back into the admin view to talk a little bit about your setup. So in Punchpass, one of the things we usually recommend, like testing out when you start a trial, is setting up a class and a pass, just like basic functionality to kind of get you started. So our manage button right here is where we're going to head, because here's we have manage passes, set up different pass memberships, manage classes, setting up your classes and class times. We also have a content library feature available on certain plans where you can host videos or documents and offer them. And then manage settings is also a really important page. We'll get to that in a moment. Just going to head into classes. So a lot of different features available here. We have on some plans, we have series and appointments. Series allows you to link a bunch of classes together and customers can book all at once, book and pay into like a full course. Appointments is a separate schedule. So you get to have your regular schedule and then a little side schedule for different offerings. So you might want to have your group classes and then your personal training or private sessions somewhere else. Still on your Punchpass account and still accessible in the same place, but at least it's like on a different tab. So kind of allows you to clean up your schedule a little bit. But really quickly, we have our list of classes here, a little overview on them, but I can set up a new class. We really like, your basic text boxes, check boxes, toggles, and drop downs. Really, look through everything, walk through everything, and it's kind of hard to miss. So we might set up a beginner class time or a class type here. I'm going to set the length of the class. I'd say this is a 9-minute class. Any of our text boxes where you can add your custom text description. We have the ability to add links, images, files, and videos. You can also format that text in a different tool and copy and paste it over here. You can always edit it later too. And then each class has its own reservation settings options. So we can send like email reminders to let our customers know they booked. We can limit the number of spots in a class. We have a max of 10. And we have a waitlist feature, which is super popular, so that if your class does book, you can get people on the waitlist so they have the ability to get into the class if someone cancels. You can prevent cancellation too. Lots of different features around here. We also have some main account reservation settings, but these are just specific to the class type. Go ahead and click save. Once we've created a class, we can set up the schedule. So most of the time we're talking about like recurring class times, like starting a class, Mondays at 3 p.m. We always have this class. You also have the one-time class option too. We'll just go ahead and show you setting up a regular class. So we'll do Mondays. I said 3 p.m. Let's do it. Set the class date and time. We can set a start date. So maybe this is going to start in September and we'll move forward from there. You can set an end date if you know that ahead of time, or just leave it blank. You can select your instructor from your list. You can select a location if you have them or you're using that feature, and we'll go ahead and add it to our schedule. So we have a record of this. We can edit it at any time, and we can go into our admin view, go into September, and we'll see Monday at 3 p.m. Here's our new class. So pretty easy to add the classes, pretty easy to add them on the schedule. If you already have the class type and you're looking to adjust things on your schedule, we also give you a lot of features here from, if you're looking at the calendar view and you kind of want to decide some things from here. For instance, I could say, we can add a single class on a day. We can add a recurring class. So we can adjust things from here. I can also adjust my classes. So I can say, maybe we have to cancel a class, delete it, Or maybe this is, hey, we're actually going to stop this class on this date and we're not going to have it anymore. We can do that from the schedule view as well. So sometimes people are a little bit more calendar view people. I like to look at a calendar when I'm adjusting my schedule. So I like that we have a lot of options from there. And the other thing I mentioned is passes. So lots of functionality here in terms of what you might want to offer. Obviously, it depends a little bit on your pricing plan, but here we have, we're kind of looking at a Banyan account, I believe, and we are looking at, we have the option to offer passes and memberships. Passes, name and description. When you go to set it up, you get to decide, is this a punch card? Is there like credit based? So maybe we have like purchasing a 5 credit punch card. We also have unlimited. So you can set up an unlimited pass and maybe you want to set it more like date range and limit people that way. Just really depends on what you're looking to offer, what your pricing is. We're looking at a demo account. So there's a lot of passes in here. We definitely recommend, making it simple, making decisions a little easier for your customers and not creating a whole laundry list, giving them an easier decision. It's always nice. But we have a lot of cool features with passes. I love our donation feature because you can set a minimum and a maximum amount. So customers can select when they're going to purchase how much they want to pay. So it's like a pay what you can option here. That's pretty cool. Or, if they want to pay a little extra and help sponsor people, I just love that feature. But you can set the pricing, I don't know, whatever your amount is. And the nice thing is, as you set up your pass and you set the rules for your pass, down here, you get to set eligibility. So when you're setting up a pass or when you're setting up a class, you want to determine how much are people paying. So for instance, you might set a pricing for certain classes and not others. So you might say, yeah, this pass is not going to cover your private sessions, your personal training, a private event. Maybe if you have any special workshops that you're not going to be offering on that particular pricing, you can adjust that. So it's definitely pretty easy as you're walking through it. Again, check boxes, drop downs, all that fun stuff. Online sales settings. So if you're using Stripe and you're thinking about the payments, set it to sell online. You can adjust who has access to view and who has access to purchase. And then some pretty popular options to make some limitations. You can limit this to only, one per customer. You can only purchase this pass one time. You could also set it to new customers only. If you're doing like a special, maybe it's a free pass. You probably don't want to give it to everyone. You don't want people constantly buying a free pass. You want to limit it to your new customers only. So you can set that up. And if you're setting up like some kind of deal and you want to say, we're only putting out, 15 of these and the first 15 people get access to this deal. You could also set limits there. So a lot of kind of cool options when it comes to pricing to hopefully meet a lot of your needs in terms of flexibility and what you might be looking for. So that's pretty cool. Just a quick view on memberships, because I know those are really popular. With memberships, similar thing, set the name, set the description. If you would like customers to be able to cancel themselves, you can check that box, or you can leave it unchecked if they need to contact you to cancel. You get to set the price. So for each renewal period, how much are they paying? Set that amount. In terms of how many times the customer is charged, a lot of people just do a renew until canceled. It's just going to keep recurring until they cancel themselves or you cancel for them. But you could also say, maybe this is a 12, a 1-year membership renews 12 times because they pay monthly and that covers the year. And you want to have a hard stop on the membership, you can do that too. And then you set the length. So give you a lot of options here. And just so you know, it's very scrollable because 1 month is nice. If you're like, oh, I pay every month on the 15th and that's really consistent to me. That's kind of nice. Some people prefer like a really even split. So it's like every 4 weeks. That way, like when the months of the year have different days, it doesn't feel like anyone's not getting a full amount for their payment. But, you can scroll through here. We got some days on there too, months, all of that, to set up the length for your membership. And with memberships too, you can make them just like passes, punch cards, or unlimited. So it could be unlimited for a certain period for the length of the membership, or it could be they get a certain number of credits during that pay period. So you could set like different levels of memberships, which I think is really awesome. We do a free trial option. So again, if you're giving people a little taste before they officially pay, that's a cool option. Set the eligibility again, sales settings here, but it's pretty basic in terms of just setting up some things: class time, membership, pass, marking attendance, seeing what the customer view is. And then as you're getting into Punchpass and you're starting to play around with it, we have a lot of features where you can customize things and you can make things your own and from your own brand and from your own voice. And you can also adjust your settings to match the rules that you need. So for instance, for online reservations, you might have a cancellation window that you want to set for the system. So customers can't cancel after a certain time, but maybe you allow late cancel. They can cancel, but a credit is going to be deducted from their pass if it's past the window. You can set booking window, how far out they can book. We have 2 different waitlist options, which I think is really cool. Again, we like to be flexible. We like to, make it work for all the different studios and businesses using us. So for instance, you can autofill the spot on the waitlist with the first person who signed up. So if this first person who got on the waitlist, they're automatically added to the class and they get a notification. Or everyone on the waitlist gets an email and say, hey, a spot opened up, and you have to click to claim it. So it's a little bit more proactive on the person's part who claims the spot. And I like that feature because I think it's nice to just be sure that that person knows they're off the waitlist and ready to join. A lot of different settings here in terms of like what's required when they log, do they have to have a login in order to book? Can they create their own, or do you have to invite them? If you have certain rules of they need to do XYZ in order to get an account, that's something we can handle. And, we have a waiver feature on some of our plans. All of our plans have the option to limit the number of reservations to business purchased. All of our plans integrate with Stripe for online payments. So lots of different features you can play around with. The nice thing is that Punchpass is ready to go. I mean, pretty much once you get started, you can set up your schedule, set up your passes, and get going. But then as you're kind of working through it, you can click into each area and adjust your settings. Maybe you want to adjust your your public schedule rules. Maybe you want to decide like, maybe I don't want to show spots left, or maybe I want to show spots left when there's, when it's full. And so people they can't see they just see, oh, well, the class is full. They can't see that there's a couple spots left. So you can change that and adjust that. There's that custom text box I mentioned that's at the top of your schedule. And you can go in and play around with all of this stuff. We're directing you during the trial. We're sending you emails and messages in our chat to say, here's where you might want to check out next, or you managed to do this. That's awesome. Here's the next step. So we're here to help. And additionally, in terms of things that we're here to help with, we have our chat in the bottom right-hand corner. So if you do have questions as you're working through the system, or you're setting something up and you're not sure, you can reach out in the chat, send us a message. You can search through our library of support documents and check that out too. Or you can reach out to us, send us a message. We can reply in the chat, or we can set up a call if there's stuff you want to look through. You want us to look through your account as you're setting it up. We're more than happy to help out with what you might need. Or, sometimes it's better, like, before you go off and run with it, if you want to kind of walk through some of the things, we'll help you with the setup. It's on Zoom, so we can, screen share and help you build out your schedule, help you build out what you might need, answer any questions that come up. And speaking of questions, I missed this from one of our people who couldn't stay. Yes, we always send out a recording. We do these monthly webinars, whether it's a demo or whether it's we're talking about something completely different. We always send out the recording afterwards if you sign up, so you'll be able to get access to this. So hopefully that'll help out. So I know that's me talking a lot and covering a bunch of different things and walking you through some of the basics in the system, some of the most like important functionality you might run into. Oh yeah, great question here. Someone said, you mentioned you can scan with your phone to take a credit card payment in person. Can you tell us more about how this works? Yes. So Stripe, we don't currently work with a card swipe tool. However, if you're using a mobile device, and mobile is pretty cool on Punchpass, I'll show you another thing in a moment. But if I go into a customer account, and we're going to assign a pass, and we're signing them up with a pass. If I'm doing this on a phone, I realize I can't show you this right now because we're on a computer, but I can definitely show you a screenshot, or if you play around with it on your phone. So if I click on paying with card and I click in here to say, you know, credit or debit card, I'm entering their number. If I'm on a mobile device, it's going to give me the option. I'm going to click and it'll say scan credit card. And I love this because it saves me a little bit of time. It opens the camera. It scans the card. The number gets filled in here. Obviously, depending on their card, sometimes the CVC code is on the back. So you've scanned the front of it, it gets everything, and then you just have to type in the 3-digit CVC. That happens sometimes, but it's a lot quicker than just typing in the full number every time. So I really like that, especially because I'm running around the studio. It's kind of easy as people come in, or to just quickly scan their card. And I always have them stand next to me to show them what we're doing. So it's nice and free. And then we also like to say, you know, email the receipt. So as I'm doing it in person, I always let them know they're going to get the receipt via email, and they kind of stand with me while I do it. That's just my personal preference. And I think it's pretty easy to do. And especially if I'm like, someone wants to purchase a t-shirt or something like that, it's really easy to do that in person. But again, with whether they're purchasing a pass, you're setting up a membership with them. Yeah, on mobile, it's pretty cool. Speaking of mobile, just show you a little bit. If we go to punchpass.com, app.punchpass.com/app, this is a little overview on how you can save Punchpass to your home screen. So we're using what's called a progressive web app. So it works with basically any device that is the internet and web browser. And for iPhones, you're going to want to use Safari. iPhones and iPad, we have a little instruction on how to save it to your home screen, and you can name it and save it. It's really simple and easy to do. Android's even easier because they're constantly looking for a PWA or progressive web app. So when you go to when you go to Punchpass, it's going to prompt you and say, add Punchpass to home screen. You can install it. And this is something that works for the admin side of Punchpass as well as the customer facing side. So if I go to my studio, here we go, my account, I can do /app, and this is going to be the same instructions and make sense for the customer side as well as the admin side. Just depends on the link that you're saving, which is customizable, which is kind of cool. Another question is, does the system also text reminders for classes or just email them? At the moment, we're just doing email, so we don't have an SMS tool at the moment. We're always kind of on the lookout to find something that might work for our client base, but we're still kind of looking for something that makes sense. And we might be limited on some geographic locations as to where we could support that. But we are always kind of looking into that. But at the moment, it's just email, which works pretty well. I mean, definitely, I understand the interest in SMS, but I wanted to let you know what we had. Okay. Cool. Well, just to kind of keep going here, just to kind of let you know, there's a lot of features available with Punchpass. I covered some of them. I couldn't get to all of them because It's a lot going on. If there's anything though you'd like to see, please still keep using the chat and send me a question, because I'd love to get to them. So if there's something that you're not sure if we have, or you have questions about it, again, feel free to use the chat, or reach out to us afterwards if it comes to you later. We would be happy to help. So a couple more things about Punchpass. We have a 2-week free trial. That's to help you get a chance to play around in the tool and see what's available, and see if it might work for your setup. If you need a little bit more time than 2 weeks, just reach out in the chat. We can help you out from there. If you need a little bit more time, we get it. But you can go to punchpass.com/free trial to sign up and start playing around. Once you do that, and you want to set up a call and chat with us and start, get a little more support as you're building it, we are happy to do that. And I'm still here to take more questions. Oh, this is a good question. How did you add instructor photos to the calendar screen? Cool, absolutely. Let me get out of here for a sec, and we'll go back into my admin view. Yes, instructor. So we're going to go to manage settings, and we have our instructors and users area, where you can give people login access. So what's nice is that we definitely don't charge based on number of users. You can add as many people as you like. So you can add them and give them the option to log in. And we have different restricted levels. So you might not want to give everyone admin level. Restricted or attendance only are available. And down here we have our active instructors. So you can add a new instructor to the list. Add the instructor. And then if I click on the instructor, I can add a little information. So I can include like a bio about the instructor, which can show on the public schedule. I can say, yes, I do want to show them publicly. And up here is I can change their avatar. So I can click on that and upload a photo. And so that can show on your calendar page for your customers. So it's kind of nice, I think, show you the customer view again. Kind of seeing people's headshots. And then here we have, I changed the title of it to our crew, but you could call this like instructors or anything like about us or meet our team. You can customize this title, and then you can share instructors, and you can have a short bio, you can have a longer bio, anything you want to include there. But yeah, so that's kind of the view of what it looks like. And yep, that's just in our manage settings, instructors and users tool. Wow, that's a great question, especially if you've been using Punchpass. Sometimes you're like, I didn't even realize, that feature was available, or you hadn't played around and found all the little things we do, which is fine. Sometimes it's kind of cool when you're like, oh, I've been using this and now I have this like whole new feature I get to play with and highlight and, just make it more your own. But yeah, I definitely recommend, as you're using Punchpass during the trial or after, to just click through what we have, because everything's fairly self-explanatory, although feel free again to ask questions. We are happy to take questions. We'd rather you ask than to just assume that we don't do it. So please let us know. But yeah, play around, click around. You're not going to break anything if you test a setting and you turn it on and then you want to play with it and then turn it off again. You can change your rules whenever you like. So totally up to you playing with those features. Did want to just show, because sometimes people have this question, they haven't checked it out. Punchpass.com/pricing. If you want to see our different plans, they're available here. You can see where you can start the free trial. We give you a little overview on some of the special things you get at different plans at different pricing. But even more so, if you scroll down, one, you can schedule a call with us. So if you want to just have a quick 15-minute chat just to decide if Punchpass might be right for you, go ahead and do that. But then you can like really see all of the different features we have and which plan might be right for you. So we do a lot and it's awesome, but it might take a little time to kind of decide what's the right fit for you. You can also ask us, as we're checking out like what you're looking to do and what you're interested in, we can also help you decide what plan might be right. Great thing is it's per month. It's a monthly subscription. You can change your plan at any time. So if you want to upgrade or downgrade at any point, you can do that while you're using Punchpass. Or you can reach out to us if you're on one plan and you're like, oh, I'm kind of curious about this other one, but I'm not sure yet. Let us know. We can help you out with that too. All right. So getting to the end here, just so you know, if you have any questions, we have the webinar chat. People have been using it, which I so appreciate. Thanks for reaching out with your questions. But again, you can message us. You can email us, support@punchpass.com. You can go to our website to book a call. You can start your trial with us and then schedule a call. So you might want to play around first before chatting with our team. That's perfectly fine. And that's at punchpass.com/free trial, or you can check out our plans at punchpass.com/pricing. Just click around on our page. We've got a lot of stuff on there, and we've got a lot more than just some information about our plans. We have a blog. We have all of the webinars that I run. We have the recordings on our website, so you can check them out. We have lots of like marketing recommendations and things beyond just how does Punchpass work. We also, we're in the industry and we have some, kind of cool recommendations and things that we see. So we post about those in our blog and again in the web and in the webinars. But I just wanted to thank everyone for jumping in today. Thank you for your patience as we had a little delayed start. But if anyone does have any more questions, please throw them in the chat. I'll try to answer them quickly for you. But if everything looks good and you don't have any questions, I just want to thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you had a good time. Please reach out to us if you are interested in Punchpass or want to learn a little bit more. We're happy to chat. Speaking of the chat, oh, thank you. Thanks for coming. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day. If anything comes up down the road, please feel free to reach out, and hope to see you at Punchpass soon.